Sousa Show. Sports.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at Ulike, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ulike.com. Ulike. With Ease US, make studio-quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high-quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional-grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use AMP-Pace.
AMP-Pace.
It is the Pete Sousa Show. Here we are. We are live in the Alico building, downtown Waco, Texas, Central Texas. We're presented by Slovaceks, of course, Socorro Family Ford. First National Bank of Central Texas had Dan Ingham in here yesterday. Crawford Austin Properties, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyers, the whole kit and caboodle, man. And we're so excited, again, to have First National Bank of Central Texas. Dan Ingham was here yesterday. To extend our partnership with them. And honestly, if we've got a bunch of sponsors and we got good numbers, man. We're closing in on 100,000 subscribers. So if you want to be a part of this, please reach out to me. I'm not hard to find, or Scotty Swingler, who is with us once again today. Scotty is got a big weekend planned. One of his best friends is getting married, fall wedding. Try to low key the resentments there, but Scotty will be there. And Baylor will still, if Scotty can't actually go to a game or watch a game, they still play him. Baylor does, which is sort of surprising. But they'll be playing SMU this weekend, Saturday, at Gerald Ford Stadium. Not that Gerald Ford. Took me a while to figure that one out. I'm talking like a decade. They're a 3-point dog, Baylor is, and that is a must win, according to Scotty. But we turn our sights to start the show to the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles, an 8-point favorite at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Couple of developments this morning, hot off the press, that I wanted to start with. First thing, Adam Schefter reports that the Eagles were actually in the trade market for Micah Parsons. They made an overture to the Dallas Cowboys, and that overture was quickly shut down. Now, the Eagles, this is again, according to Schefter, offered a better deal, a sweeter deal than the Green Bay Packers. But the Eagles, and I understand that with Jerry Jones, it was just too much, too close to home. I feel like the Packers are just as much as a problem for the Dallas Cowboys. But it is nice to know that there is some sort of threshold or ceiling or guardrails that this Cowboys organization works within, I guess. But ultimately, there's a disappointment, right, around the overwhelming majority of Cowboys fans about this trade. And you probably could have gotten a better deal from the Eagles, which is, by the way, why the Eagles are so wonderful right now as an organization. Howie Roseman is a big part of that, right? We were going to have Sal Paolantonio on this morning. He had to reschedule, so we're efforting him next Tuesday. To have Sal Paolantonio on this show the day of the Eagles opener against the Dallas Cowboys. First time these two teams are opening against each other since 1970. That was a coup in itself, thanks to our friend Chris Visser, our executive producer. But Sal had to reschedule, and as far as I'm concerned, Scotty called me this morning and told me Sal had to reschedule. I got all my questions right here. I actually texted a couple super fans from Philly, what do you got that you would want Sal to answer, right? I had the everyman in on it too, aside from my own questions, but we'll talk to Sal on Tuesday. And I see this as an overarching good problem to have, that Sal Paolantonio would even be on the mix here in the Pete Sousa Show. That's pretty exciting. But I was going to ask Sal about this and about Howie Roseman and his elite work as a general manager. And on the eve, or not on the eve, on the morning of this big NFL clash to open the season, we're still talking about Micah Parsons and that trade. We won't be talking about it much tomorrow. I'm telling you, when this machine that is the 24-hour news cycle whets its appetite on actual real games, things all start to change, which is one part glorious and one part man, now the reality is setting in. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys, as disappointed as fans might be, it's a clean slate, man. They are 0-0 going into this game tonight, which, by the way, from a football perspective, Kenny Clark is going to play and will help you stop the run. Micah Parsons may not play for the Green Bay Packers. Oh, by the way, that back injury might be for real. The one that we all thought was BS. So there's something there that actually could benefit the Cowboys tonight. The immediate future of that trade, right? The absolute immediate future. So maybe that's something to be positive about going into tonight's game. Last thread about this game, and this speaks to just the Cowboys overall and who they are. Chris Canty, who was drafted by the Cowboys, right, by Bill Parcells and Jerry Jones, our good friend Matt Mosley, front row seat covering Canty. Those were certainly the Mosley years. The Parcells years are actually known as the Mosley years, at least around here they are, if you talk to Matt. But Chris Canty, who played for the Giants after the Cowboys, won a Super Bowl with the Giants in 2011, mentioned this morning on his 6 a.m. morning show on ESPN, which Stephen A. Smith made a great point. He said ever since we started waking Canty up at 5 a.m. to do the 6 a.m. show, he's been kind of surly. And this morning he definitely was, when he mentioned that winning a Super Bowl with the Giants in 2011, right? 2012 calendar year was when they beat the Patriots. He said that offseason was amazing, right? Just an amazing vibe around the city, the team, the locker room, the facility, coaching staff. However, he says every day of being a Dallas Cowboy was like that. And it's like, wait, what? And I think Chris Canty had the opportunity, right? He has the best of both worlds. He won a Super Bowl and he got to experience that like lavish life of being a Dallas Cowboy. But that statement in itself speaks to why the Cowboys have the arrogance and the attitude that they have. And it's something that will always seep to the surface, right? And bubble up at some point, because it's a real thing. Troy Aikman was on Rich Eisen yesterday, and Troy said, I do get a little disappointed in the fact that the Cowboys quantify success now as like being trendy and being talked about. Now, on the same side, he said, Jerry Jones, I know how badly he wants to win, but, he is quite possibly, as we all know, caught up in this soap opera thing, maybe a little too much, so on the morning of the biggest game of opening weekend, right? NBC, Thursday Night Football, Collinsworth, Mike Tirico. I can't wait till Collinsworth is like, oh man, Mike, you remember when the Cowboys had a guy who could get after the quarterback? He's just got Jalen Hurts has all kinds of time back there. I can't wait because that's coming. Again, the Eagles an 8-point favorite. Kickoff is at 7:20 our time. I will be on a plane to Florida for UCF North Carolina A&T. I'm looking forward to that game. Looking forward to watching the game on the plane. I'm looking forward to both games. And we're actually going to talk to Mark Daniels, and that'll be fresh for you guys tomorrow. Mark Daniels is the play-by-play guy, UCF basketball, football, and is a personality, old school radio guy. And he tells it like it is. So we're going to chat with him, and we'll have that for you tomorrow. And I'll probably tape a recap of the Eagles-Cowboys game and instant reaction. I'll do that from the hotel. So we'll have you covered for tomorrow. And then we're back at it again on Monday. Inside the 12 airing tonight on HBO Max, True TV. You can find it all over Big 12 country. And it airs on local stations around the country and, of course, on the Big 12's YouTube page. And there is a segment in there. And this comes in light of not having Sal Pal on this morning and not having a guest, which is actually a lot of fun. It sort of opens up things for us to have some fun conversations because there's a couple things I've been dying to get to that I haven't been able to get to. This actually wasn't one of them, but it came to mind this morning. My man Kevin Fisher, who's checking us out, Women's Tennis Association, who actually preceded me in public relations at the Philadelphia 76ers. Fish is the man. And to have someone of his ilk watching means a lot, but he'll appreciate this story. So we have a segment called the Quarterback Club on Inside the 12, which Taylor McCarg, my partner in crime over there, the winningest quarterback in Rice football history. And yes, he did win a lot of games. He didn't win like 4 games. So don't be a prick, whoever you are out there taking shots at Rice football. I can hear you. He took his team to 2 straight bowl games, and they won the conference. Okay. So Taylor has this quarterback club where he breaks down, the best quarterbacks in the Big 12. Josh Hoover, we had a field day. I had a field day watching, but, Taylor breaks it all down. And it's really cool when you watch how well he played on Monday night, not only just dropping passes in a bucket, like that deep, I think it was like, what do they call it? Like that 9 route, like that post corner, right? Where the guy number 7, I forget his name right now, just he couldn't have dropped it. Hoover put it on him. And the same guy, same wide receiver, I apologize again, I'm forgetting his name, caught a pass. He just seems like he's totally in sync with Josh Hoover as Hoover rolls to his left, and the guy catches the ball right before he would go out of bounds. It was a play that broke down. But it's clear like these guys are in sync. Josh Hoover is throwing BBs, and it looks special, right? This was obviously in that blowout Monday night against North Carolina State or North Carolina. So we feature that tonight. I urge you to check it out. But it got me thinking. I joke with Taylor all the time. I'll never get into the quarterback club. What do you guys play usher in the quarterback club? Do you wear like smoking jackets? Is it bottle service? I always have like a wise ass remark about what it must be like to be in the quarterback club. And then it got me thinking of when I worked in the NBA and my favorite not getting into a club story. So, and this is as told to me by Matt Carroll, okay, former shooting guard or small forward, we'll say, for the Charlotte Bobcats. Ultimately, he ended up with the Utah Jazz, I think, for a little while. The Mavs. He was a Maverick, too, before he retired. Obviously, a Notre Dame guy. He was mired in obscurity in the NBA at the time, D-League, when Bernie Bickerstaff and the Bobcats acquired his rights. And he was a good NBA player, like solid. Look at his numbers. I don't care if he was on a bad team. Matt had some really good moments, right? So this was not one of his best moments. The Bobcats at the time are in Miami, and they're playing the Heat. Now, this is probably around 2007, 2008. Again, this is as told to me by Matt Carroll. So if I may put this online, if Matt has any issues with this story, he is more than welcome to come on, and I'm sure he will. He's a great dude. But the Bobcats get destroyed by Miami. Now, Michael Jordan, owner of the team at the time, has a spot in Miami, spends a lot of time in Miami. At the time, he had, I think he had met the woman who is now his wife, and I think she lived in Miami. So there's a lot of time being spent by MJ in Miami. So, of course, when his team goes and plays the Heat, he's going to be there, right? And Michael is kind of like, he's just so dialed in. He's got eyes and ears everywhere. He's a special off the court as he is on it, with all these unique qualities he has, right, that separate him from the rest of the human race. And after the Bobcats get throttled by Miami, they're in town for an extra night, and they go to the club, right? They're going to the club. So this is Emeka Okafor, Sean May, Raymond Felton, Gerald Wallace. They're at this big club in Miami, and I forget exactly what the name of the club was. But Matt Carroll is told by Emeka Okafor. Emeka's in there. He has bottle service, and he's got this great table. And he's like, Matt, come on in. Like, tell him you're with me. Well, Matt's outside, and the guys that are running the club or the security, they're like, dude, you're not getting in here, buddy. Sorry. Like, we don't believe you're who you say you are. A lot of miscommunication, right? So Matt's outside the club for literally like an hour, okay? And eventually, he just bags it, okay? While his teammates, some of whom are coming in around him, right? Like Sean May is going in because they're like, okay, you're Sean May. Like, we know who you are. Your team just won a national championship. Obviously, we know who Emeka Okafor is. Your team won a national championship a few years ago. You were the second pick in the draft. Matt Carroll, we don't know who you are, and we don't believe you, right? And I guess Matt couldn't show him a basketball card or an in-action picture back then. Again, this is like 2007. So story ends, whatever. Carroll's disappointed. I'm pretty sure he went home without getting in the club at all. So the next day, MJ calls a team meeting, and everybody is like surprised. And for lack of transparency, it was either a meeting that was already being held, or it was a meeting that Michael had called. Now, at this point, Sam Vincent, God bless him, was the coach of the Bobcats. Sam was one and done, right? And Sam didn't have a ton of control over the team. I can remember he complained about fast food that the guys were eating after a particular game. And I know the players didn't like that. It was one of those seasons. And I actually was with the Sixers at this time, right? So all this is happening. I'd already left because I had worked in public relations in Charlotte for a while. So MJ comes in at like the tail end of this meeting, and he is, taking everybody's inventory, coming down on these guys like, Sean May, you play soft. You don't want it bad. Emeka Okafor, you're like a bump on a fucking log. Pardon my language. I don't like to swear. I shouldn't have said that, but I'm repeating a story. So you get the idea. And he says, I know you guys, you get your asses kicked and you all go to the club. Emeka's in there in the club with bottle service. Sean May's in there in the club with bottle service and girls. Nobody cares about basketball. And then he points at Matt Carroll. This is Michael Jordan now. And Matt Carroll's like, Michael has like never spoken to me. And he looks at Matt Carroll and he goes, Matt Carroll, you can't even get into the club. Like, what are you even doing here in the NBA? You can't get into the club so I can yell at you like I'm yelling at these guys. And Matt was like, his world was kind of like, oh gosh. And that's every time I think of not being able to be a member of the quarterback club, I always think about poor Matt Carroll, just kind of hanging out outside the club, not being able to get in, right? The guy's giving his all. He's actually playing pretty well. And then he's disappointed. He goes home. And then the next day, everybody's taken to task. And that story about how he couldn't get into the club is recanted by the greatest basketball player of all time. By the way, the guy who owns the team. I heard Charles Barkley. By the way, I don't like to plug other podcasts or shows. I will plug one in a second after this remark, but Charles Barkley was on Bill Simmons, and it was 90 minutes, and it was just Charles Barkley. I listened to it last night as I was doing my prep for the UCF North Carolina A&T game that I'm doing Saturday night on ESPN, ESPN Plus, if we're going to be, specific. And Barkley is just hilarious, but he talked about Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and what made them so special. And he basically came down on the fact that, like, look, they just weren't nice guys. He's like he was talking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's like, Shai strikes me as more of a LeBron. And why is he more of a LeBron? Like, those guys are like nice guys. Like they like don't have that absolute, like, I'm going to kill you in my DNA, like Michael had and like Kobe had. And Charles is sure that that's what separated Michael and Kobe. And again, too, by the way, we talked to Wayne Levery earlier in the week, the Packers play-by-play guy. He did play-by-play for the Bulls when they were on WGN. And Wayne also says that nobody worked harder than Michael Jordan. But I also think that obviously his skill set was elite, but he was a bad dude, like a nasty guy. And sometimes that's how you get the job done. So that show is awesome. And make sure you check out some of our shows, the back show. I put up a couple clips from Craig James yesterday. I did a short, which takes a little while. And then we got help here. Our buddy Brian over at the Rogue Media Network is splicing up some of our clips. So make sure you go to the Pete Sousa Show page and check out all those clips. One other thing, I think you see this shirt, right? So the Press Box Chronicles, my man Jeff Pearlman. If you haven't been watching or listening to the Press Box Chronicles, you got a problem I can't solve. I mean, they're absolutely amazing. Jeff Pearlman, I've talked about him, like, just journalism in his bones. So when he tells you a story, there's really no need for attribution. He either heard it from someone who is a direct source or he experienced whatever he's talking about himself. And that makes everything about the Press Box Chronicles amazing. So I had to get the shirt. Jeff, by the way, Jeff came on this show when we had 0 subscribers, nothing going. He talked about his Bo Jackson book, which is absolutely amazing. He's got a book about Tupac that's coming out in October. Come on, Jeff, if this isn't an invitation to talk about your Tupac book, with 85,000 subscribers right now, we'll have 100K by the time you come on here to plug that book in October. I wouldn't even call it plugging the book. I'd just call it doing me a favor. But we will be getting the message out. And that is going to be an amazing book. And if you guys are curious, already Jeff has been pretty transparent about some of the tension that comes when you parachute into a world as specific as Tupac's, because there are so many Tupac supporters and there are so many opinions and history lessons that surround the Tupac Shakur situation, the person, the character, that I think Jeff gets some heat every so often, just for the fact that he's writing the book. There's a lot of people celebrating it too. I guarantee there's going to be a lot of people reading it. myself included. So that is our overture to get Mr. Perlman to join us at some point. The Pete Sousa Show takes a break. We come back. We're talking some Big 12 football. Dave Portnoy getting in bed with the Big 12. You know what I say? Commissioner Yormark, move over. Let's make some room for this guy. Presented by Slovacic's, the Pete Sousa Show, back after this.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down to afterwards, was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning. So we love Extraco.
I don't know, if Bubble wasn't here, I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. Bubble allows you to make it real and for it to actually work. So I feel like Bubble bridges that gap and being able to give people the opportunity to make their ideas come to life really quickly too. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built and have the control over it.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
Hi, I'm Jo from Face Theory. You're going to want to have a specific goal for your skincare routine. What do you want to achieve? Active ingredients are really strong, and if you're using too many at once, your skin can get overwhelmed. Don't overspend on products. Choose products that have scientific research behind them. At Face Theory, if you're not happy with a product, just say so, just give us a shout and we'll give you your money back, no problem.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone and then you're gonna use the Kodak Photo Print app. It's going to print you a 4x6 photo. I am just in awe. I love how these turned out. Also, the printer comes with a free cartridge of 10 photo sheets. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. Tailor the colors, fonts, and design to match your brand and seamlessly integrate with your WordPress website. Whether it's for events or appointments, Amelia makes booking simple, stylish, and perfectly aligned with your business. Enhance your booking experience today at WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia.
When you learn a language with Babbel, you start a journey that takes you further and further. Anytime and anywhere you wish. It's easy and fun. Broadens your horizons and keeps your brain fit. A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry for its dedication to helping individuals with bad credit secure loans. By making timely repayments, borrowers can gradually repair their credit history, thereby increasing their chances of securing better loan terms in the future. BadCreditLoans.com serves as a beacon of hope for those with bad credit. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
It is the Pete Sousa Show. We roll on here from downtown Waco, Texas, hitting the road, traveling to Orlando tonight, be taking in UCF and North Carolina A&T on Saturday night. A lot of big games in the Big 12, non-con wise, over the weekend. Unfortunately, that's not one of them, but I am thrilled to be on the call. And then after this game, I have Rice next week on on a Saturday night, so I'll be keeping it in Texas for that one. I know you guys have been dying to get my schedule, so there you have it. I'll keep you posted on week 4. Okay, so we talk about the Big 12. I mentioned Inside the 12 tonight. Make sure you watch it. You can watch it on HBO Max, True TV. We're breaking down all the big-time football action in the conference. And look, there was a little scuttlebutt yesterday. We got a little text chain going. Myself, Philip Weiss from Raycom, who produces the show, Taylor McHarg, who I've talked to you guys about. What's going on with this Dave Portnoy stuff? And then I'm like, what's going on with what Dave Portnoy stuff? So I take a look, right? And Jamie Pollard, the athletic director of Iowa State, who will be hosting Big Noon Kickoff, Iowa State this weekend, made a pretty shrewd play, I believe. And he basically said, hey, Dave Portnoy, we are not Ohio State. We welcome you. Come to our stadium, right? Come to Jack Trice, all right? And we're going to have a blast. You'll be inside. You're not going to be outside like Ohio State. We're wide open for business. And then later in the day, it is revealed, and I want to read this right from the New York Times, okay? This is an article came out 20 hours ago, updated just 2 hours ago. So we got the latest right here. Quote, Dave Portnoy is bringing his brand to one particular conference. The Big 12 Conference had a call with Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy yesterday morning with Commissioner Brett Yormark and all 16-member athletic directors present, league sources confirmed to The Athletic. And while there is no official contract between the Big 12 and Barstool, the conference is looking to capitalize on Fox's new partnership with Portnoy and Barstool by engaging with the brand moving forward. The conversation on Wednesday centered around Portnoy and Barstool being on campus for Big Noon games, including this Saturday for Iowa State, but also included the possibility of having Big 12 coaches and other affiliated members appearing as guests on Barstool's new FS1 show and other Barstool programming. This would extend beyond football to other Big 12 sports as well, including men's and women's basketball. Okay, now a brilliant move by the Big 12 and Brett Yormark. Now, why do I say that? Okay. One, because the Big 12, if there's one thing the conference has, okay, that you can really leverage against every other conference in the country, is you have great coaches in the Big 12 for the most part. You really do. A lot of experience, a lot of excitement, right? You look at Deion Sanders, Joey McGuire, just a lot of, and yeah, Joey, I just put you in a category with Deion Sanders. Right? So there you go. You're my man. But there is a sizzle to the Big 12, especially coaches. I mean, Mike Gundy. I mean, that guy's a quote machine, even when his team's doing poorly. Kyle Whittingham, he doesn't like to talk to anybody but the Matt Mosley show. But that is a guy that is a stoic, big name coach in college football. Sonny Dykes in a national championship a few years ago. I mean, the list goes on. So that is got to be appetizing and attractive to Dave Portnoy and Barstool. Another thing that has to be very attractive to Dave Portnoy and Barstool. The Big 12 every year is duking it out for the best basketball conference in the country. If you want good college basketball content, you got to start with the Big 12. So now that has been said, and I have put that out there, okay, we have to bring it back closer to home because Mac Rhodes, right, representing our favorite Baptist university, Baylor University, was on that call yesterday. Scott Drew, a God-fearing man, right, who leads with joy, Jesus, others, yourself, right? That's it, right? I talked to King McClure, my buddy. He always says, when in life, if you can do that, and on the basketball court, if you can do that, obviously King played for Scott. That's a way to employ that legacy, that Baylor legacy, right? You can take that with you through the rest of your life, but it's a pure legacy. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with Barstool. Not exactly pure content. Another situation, right? Jake Retzlaff was jettisoned from BYU over the summer for having premarital sex. Bottom line, that's it, right? We're not going to get into the details of who did what, blah, blah, blah. He was kicked out of BYU, or was going to be suspended. I shouldn't say that. Was going to be suspended maybe 7-8 games for having premarital sex. So he took his services elsewhere to Tulane. I love BYU. They have an honor code. Jake broke it. He's playing somewhere else. That's it. Okay. But it shows that there are certain standards that BYU holds itself to that aren't necessarily perfect. And sorry for this pun. They don't make those guys perfect bedfellows. You know what I mean? Like, they don't. So I want to get Scotty Swingler, who has joined us. We worked on his shot today. We're really trying to master this because Scotty's a good-looking guy. And he's got his look, with the hat on back. Oh, it looks better already, dude.
A good-looking guy.
You are. You're a handsome guy.
It looks better because you let me open the windows today. Thank you, Pete.
Yeah, no problem. I kind of like the dungeon look, but when it's sunny out,
Pete had the best idea, by the way, like 2 minutes before we went live. We're going to try it next time.
To get a desk there.
I want to stand, yeah.
Yeah, we got a standing desk.
Pete says maybe Scotty can stand. One, that'll keep me healthier because right now I sit all day.
Yeah. But you got to sit. But you got to sit for Mosley's show.
Two, I think it will give me more energy.
Yeah, I know. But I want you sitting for Mosley's. I want to.
No, what?
Yeah, Scotty is standing up.
Scotty, you're acting a little excited over there. Mosley's here live today, by the way.
Mosley will be here live?
Yeah, we're going to do the show right here. 1 o'clock.
Okay.
If you didn't know, afternoons right here, Rogue Media,
Yeah.
1 o'clock, the Matt Mosley Show.
Okay, so let's get back to this.
I'm
okay?
ready. I'm ready.
Hold on, I got to read this text because it's about what we're talking about.
Okay, we won't get back to it yet.
From
Then.
somebody
We'll wait for you to read your text, Pete.
I just literally, it's from someone at the Big 12 who I asked.
That's good.
Who I asked a question.
Okay.
Any movement on Portnoy with the Big 12? I'm not going to tell you what I got as a response.
What the heck,
I can't,
dude?
I can't. But
then you should have read it without telling us what you. Okay.
I'll tell you. It's not. Look, put it this way. We're not going to ditch the segment. Okay.
Bet.
We're still doing this.
All right.
Which
I'm here to give
means
my input.
that maybe there's some momentum. I've been doing this all show now. If you've been gambling and you're doing well, sometimes you watch the dealer leave the table because you're just kicking ass. All right, Scotty, you think this is a gamble, and I want to hear as to why you think that this may not work, because I think it's brilliant and it's shrewd. I really do think the Big 12 and Brett Yormark have like a futuristic vision on where sports are going. But this is risky. I just mentioned Baylor, BYU, just a couple off the top. Don't forget about TCU that may not be in love with some of.
Take TCU out of the conversation. They don't give a rip. Those godless heathens up there in Fort Worth.
The Barstool culture does not necessarily jive with the Baptists at Baylor or
listen,
our folks out in Provo.
You paraphrased it well a couple minutes ago, and I said this when he signed with Fox Sports last month. People think that if they bring in Dave Portnoy, he's going to be Pat McAfee. That's the comp. Like that's the only reason Fox is putting some of his content on their network, why he's involved in Big Noon Kickoff. And it's why the Big 12 is bringing him in, which, by the way, I don't know why they don't just call Pat McAfee. He's a Big 12 school alum, but I digress. Getting Dave Portnoy involved will bring younger male demographic to your schools, to your content, I suppose. I just do not see Dave Portnoy as trustworthy in the same way that I might view Pat McAfee as trustworthy. It's very simple. They are both bombastic, media innovators, delightful to watch on camera, funny, entertaining, both of them. Brilliant businessmen, both of them as well, right? The difference is Pat McAfee is someone that we've watched him do it over and over. I trust that when a producer is in his ear saying, he drops it. When he has made some big mistakes on air, he apologizes publicly.
Sometimes months later, but yes, he does.
Sure, but he apologizes for it. Even if it's funny, even if it's tongue-in-cheek, he tends to be able to somehow walk the narrow road needed to be on a network like ESPN while also being himself. I do not think Dave Portnoy is capable of that. That's not even a criticism of Dave Portnoy necessarily, because that is why he's built a following.
Yeah.
I don't trust him. If a producer's in his ear saying, he's not going to stop. If he says something on air that is wildly offensive, and Pete and I were talking in the break, I'm not talking like offend the far left woke mob. I'm talking if he says something that's blatantly offensive to a group of people,
that would offend me or you.
Right. And again, the example, Baylor's a good example. BYU's a better example.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. If he's on campus in Provo and he makes some sex joke, some joke about the rigidness or the uprightness of the Church of Latter-day Saints rules, traditions, views, dude, it's just not a good look.
Yeah.
It's not a good look for the conference. It's not a good look for him. And I don't think he's going to walk that back and apologize and make it right. So could it bring viewers more interest to your conference? Maybe. Could it also create a conflict in about 3 months when Brett Yormark's having to go, listen, we had an agreement with Dave. He clearly crossed the line. We're going to sever ties. Like, probably. That to me is the most likely scenario for this. And let's just be honest. Dave Portnoy is not a Big 12 guy. And I didn't even mention this to you on the break, Pete. I'd love to get your talk back on this. You've got really incredible influencers who are tied into the Big 12. You've got them. Why don't you use them?
Like who?
Like Pat McAfee.
Okay.
Like Trey Wingo. By the way, I've never known why Baylor.
Can somebody hit the screeching brakes? We just threw Trey Wingo in there.
Bro, why hasn't Baylor brought Trey Wingo to campus like ever? That's a problem. Like,
yeah, there's something there. Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother story, though.
You know, Scotty B's over here saying Molly Miller. Yeah, let's get Coach Miller on the TV. That would help, right? I don't know, man.
Guys, I don't know who Molly Miller is.
She is the new head coach for Arizona State women's basketball.
Oh, okay.
From Grand Canyon.
Sure, from Grand Canyon. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Scotty B, you're the man, dude. I love Scotty.
Portnoy's not even a Big 12 guy, though. He's gonna.
But hold on.
He's gonna be talking about Michigan.
I
want
State. I want this to be a thoughtful conversation, but you just put Trey Wingo and Molly Miller in the same category as Pat McAfee. Like, that's not.
I mean, I didn't, but
well, somebody else did. The bottom line is Pat McAfee and Dave Portnoy. That's how you started this conversation, and that makes great sense. Like, those guys are both lightning rods. I agree. If you watch Pat McAfee, Pat is the best. He's literally like
Robert Griffin.
If you're a parent, like, his parents must be so proud. And here's what I mean. Like, when Pat is in his domain at his show, he can act like it however he wants. He can act immature. He can act bombastic. That's his show.
Right.
That's his dojo. Okay. Now, when he's at College Game Day, he does not act like that. If you ever watch him, he is so reverent to Nick Saban, was all the time.
But he's still himself. He's standing on the chairs, firing up the crowd, singing the local.
When the time is right. That dude gets it.
Doing the kick.
That dude gets it. And I've talked to people who've worked with him who say, you know, he's a little big time now where he doesn't necessarily, like, you can work with him all season long and he might not remember your name. Like, that's collateral damage of working in this business. It happens, right? The guy meets 1 million people every day. Like, sometimes when a guy like Pat is looking the wrong way when he shakes your hand, that can follow you forever, right? Like, oh, he wasn't paying attention. Like, it's all that's tough. I think he's a great guy from what we can see. And I do think, Scotty, one of the reasons the Big 12 doesn't feel a need to pull McAfee in is because he's basically already on staff. Like, here's an example. If West Virginia beats Ohio, right, this week on the road, and and Pitt wins, like, Pat McAfee's going to be pushing for the backyard brawl to be College Game Day.
Like, he does this for West Virginia, but you're going to invite someone to the Iowa State game. Why not invite the Pat McAfee show? Instead of Dave Portnoy. That's my question.
Well, because he's already affiliated with Big Noon Kickoff, and the Big 12 is trying to take advantage of where they see the SEC and Big 10 vulnerable, right? Because the SEC is not going to end up on Big Noon Kickoff unless it's something crazy, right? It's going to be the Big 10 9 times out of 10, and they've already said.
And guess what, Pete? Nobody watches Big Noon Kickoff. Nobody watches it.
People do watch it.
No, they don't. They watched it this past weekend because they had Corso's final pick simulcast, which I thought was really cool.
Which was very smart.
I thought that was very good.
That was like the smartest move of the weekend. The dumbest move was the guy from Northwestern who wouldn't let the kids from Tulane. That was dumb. Dude. And I was listening to Rick Neuheisel yesterday. I love listening to former coaches on this. He said, the reason that they wouldn't do it is because it was hot and Northwestern was home and they wanted to wear the lighter uniforms. But even Neuheisel was like, bad move. Bad move.
Pete, I'm just saying, to get back to the point, Portnoy is going to end up being a regret for the Big 12. That would be my projection. Go get Pat Mahomes to come back. Go get Pat McAfee. Robert Griffin's in the media being controversial every 2 weeks. Like get some of these guys to show up at these games. I mean, Griffin doing the Baylor-Auburn game for Fox was great. None of them are Portnoy, but I don't know if we need the Portnoy attention.
Well, here's one last thing I'll leave you with, because this is also from another one of our heavy hitters. I was talking to Shahan Jayaraja, CBS Sports, when he was getting ready to go on set before on the Green and Gold pregame show before the Auburn game. And so he and I were talking about the Big 12. And this sort of answers the question that he and I asked each other, or he was asking me, is the Big 12 okay with being the third or fourth best conference in the country? Like, are they going to be okay with that? Because there is an acceptance that comes with that. And it's still, hey, if you're the third best country in all of college football and you've got a direct bid to the college football playoff, like that ain't bad. You know what I mean? But that's just not who the Big 12 is, right? There's always going to be this forward thinking, and there is not that acceptance, right? There is how can we continue?
By the way, that's why Brett Yormark's the best.
Yeah, I agree.
Unlike the two commissioners prior, who I will not name because I hate both of them.
Bob Bowlesby?
Sure, you can name him. And the one before that. Unlike those two men, I think Brett Yormark is actually doing everything within his power to make the Big 12 the best, which is needed and which I appreciate. I think this is going to be a misstep. Everything else, great. I will still ride the get Duke and UNC in the Big 12, so we definitely are the best basketball conference in America train.
And he could do that. Brett Yormark.
Conversation for another day.
Don't lest anyone think that Dave Portnoy has consumed all of Brett Yormark's calendar and missions like Scotty just mentioned have fallen off. No, trust me. He's got his eye on the ball. But this is part of the game here. All right, the Pete Sousa Show. We'll come back. I got one last bug up my ass, okay? I'm going to tell you what it is, and we'll get out of here on a Thursday because we got something to tape right at 11:02. So break, back. I'm going to complain. You're going to like it, and then we'll say goodbye.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. With over 20 years of experience, our expert staff, who've dived everywhere from the Galapagos to the Maldives, provides personalized advice to help you find the perfect gear for any underwater journey. Shop leading brands like GoPro, Aqualung, and Scuba Pro. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Our research-backed bioavailable formulas are crafted with your health in mind, ensuring the highest quality and safety. From preconception to pregnancy and beyond, we exceed industry standards with independent testing for harmful contaminants. With our comprehensive practitioner directory, personalized care is always within reach. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. We use the finest materials like Italian top-grain leather, known for its durability and luxurious feel, and apply meticulous attention to detail in every piece we create. Our replicas are crafted with the same care and precision as the originals, but a price that makes them accessible. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at sarn.com.
At Covers and All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. Using advanced tech fabrics that are 100% waterproof, UV tear, and abrasion resistant, we ensure lasting durability with hand-sewn double-stitch seams. Our commitment to quality, precision engineering, and customizable options is unmatched. With vertically integrated operations and express shipping, we deliver premier protection at affordable prices. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com.
Okay. Up against it here, we got about 6 minutes, and I got a couple things on my mind. I want to start with Angel Reese. Angel Reese, by the way, we haven't heard much about her. And do you want me to be honest as to why we haven't heard much about her? Because she's kicking ass. I want to read you some stats, okay? Because I do think that there's an overwhelming tidal wave of neglect for her game and, you know, people that can't wait to pounce on her when she misses a few layups, but she's playing awesome and I haven't heard anything about it. Maybe I need to get my algorithms switched around, because here is just some of her numbers. She's averaging 15 points a game and a WNBA best 13 rebounds. She had 18 points and 13 rebounds in Wednesday's win for the Sky. She also picked up her 8th technical foul, which, I mean, that's fine, you know, but if she gets another one, that would be a suspension for their game against the Fever. By the way, no Caitlin Clark. I'm sure it's an injury that's very legitimate, but that does not help the WNBA. It's sort of fallen off. I have not been paying as much attention, and now that we're in football season, it has gone by the wayside. But Angel Reese made some headlines yesterday when she talked about the fact, and I want to get the quote right, talking to the Chicago Tribune. She said, "I'm not settling for the same this year." SHIT. We did this year. We have to get good players. We have to get great players. That's a non-negotiable for me. I'm willing and wanting to play with the best. And however I can help get the best here, that's what I'm going to do this offseason. Like, anybody that has a problem with that, like, you got a problem that I can't solve. It's a competitor that, by the way, this is not 1984 or 1990 where you got to be Michael Jordan, or you got to be Charles Barkley, or you got to be, you know, everybody. I heard Charles last night talking on Bill Simmons about like winning a championship and not everybody teaming up like on these superpower teams. That's not what Angel Reese is looking to do. She's just looking for a little bit of help. Okay. And I'm not talking about, you know, Haley Van Lith, like some real help. So Chicago, get her the help she needs and suffer through whatever it is that folks have trouble with. Dealing with Angel Reese, because she's averaging 15 points and 13 rebounds. Okay. Conversation over. Angel Reese gets the W here. Okay. I got a quick L for you, and it is regarding the Netflix documentary that I watched the other night, Unknown Number. I was trying to get some sleep. My beautiful fiance comes in the room, turns on the TV. I think I slept through the first 20 minutes of this thing, and I watched the last like hour and change. Okay. To say that I was appalled is an understatement. By the way, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, stop watching. Scotty, put some cotton in your ears. I don't know what to tell you. The fact that at the end of the movie, it is revealed that this young woman's mother was behind these graphic, abhorrent, egregious text messages that ultimately went to her own daughter and quite possibly could contribute to the destruction, certainly the tension, right, and the uphill battle that now has become this young woman's life, her daughter. There needs to be like an investigation, right? Like at the end of this movie, when it is revealed, documentary, which by the way is incredibly well done, incredibly, like Mr. Director, tip of the cap. The way that they did it, it almost seems like a TV show, but it's not. It's nonfiction. It was brilliant how it was done. I do appreciate documentary filmmakers playing like a game of can you top this? Like getting better and better, right? We do have a lot of documentaries, but some take the challenge. And this guy, girl, whoever did it, it was amazing. And my biggest issue, and they did a good job because it is what it is. They just tell you the facts. This mother who did these terrible things to her daughter, it doesn't seem like there has been any hardcore legal action. It doesn't seem like she is at all apologetic, right? She doesn't show any remorse really for her behavior. And it's really frustrating to watch. If the woman had been on, right, this mother who is obviously like the criminal in this whole thing, the anti-hero, if she were to come on and say, hey, I was away for 2 years and now I'm back. What I did to my daughter was terrible. I'm still seeking treatment for mental health. Please forgive me. I might be able to stand this woman. I might be able to. But the fact that she is on there showing no remorse, trying to talk her way out of a situation is just beyond me. And like, I swear to God, like CPS, get involved. Like that woman, that daughter, they should not be seeing each other. Okay. Just my take. Pete Sousa Show back with you tomorrow. We'll have Mark Daniels. We'll be talking Big 12 football. I will be in Orlando getting ready for the Knights and North Carolina A&T. And thank you guys so much for watching Walking 2. Like, subscribe, the whole deal. Thanks to Scotty Swingler. Thanks to Chris Visser. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down to afterwards, was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning. So we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is Stark.
We are Rogue Media Sports.